Sup, everybody? I was here warming up for my pump. Didn't remember that I hadn't posted in a while. So let's do it, right? Probably gonna do like twice for the next few days to kind of solve the time that I didn't do anything at all. So okay, we're gonna talk about like gamification and why I think it's working currently and why I think it's important. Okay, so that's something that was realized. I was watching Soul Leveling for like the second or third time. There was like, you know what? Probably if you guys have watched, you know what I'm talking about. But it's like, shit, I'm doing all this, self improvement and all this stuff. And low key, if you have the right mentality, life is like that. Like if you're doing the right things, things will come. So sometimes we're very nervous in asking ourselves if we're doing the right thing, and then we change paths and we're not consistent because we are not sure of the results and we are afraid of going all in and not getting it. That's the reality. Fear is a driving force, and here's the problem with fear, right? Fear stops you. Fear sabotages you. Okay, so that's exactly why it's important to gamify it. You know, break down the information and know that if you do the right things, you're gonna get the experience, you're gonna get the XP points, and eventually your stats will come up. It will come up. It's just like a natural response. When you're playing like an RPG or something like that, you don't ask yourself, okay, no, what if I get this experience doesn't work? Well, it will work because even if it doesn't directly enhance your that stat that you're going for example, let's say you are going for this thing to enhance your, let's say, hairline, and well, you just simply did not do the correct thing. Okay, well, unless you fucked up very very much, and then your hairline is worse now. Your chances are it got at least a little bit better, even if it was not optimal. Even if you try like that simple, you tried an oil, and the oil was not great. Well, it enhanced a little bit. Now you know what works more and what works less. Basically, the big thing is that when you give this approach, everything is more positive, everything is better, and low key, everything is either, you know, is experienced in some way or form, because either your stat gets better or you get more knowledge. You know that you tried and you get knowledge in other areas. For example, you can enhance your will, right? And then I'm going to kind of help you guys on how to do it because I kind of did it. So, uh, I took so 11 stuff as a basis. So I kind of created a couple of things, right? I'm not saying that you need specifically to do this, but that's how why kind of planned it. Okay, so pretty much I had the base stats. The base stats are the average of all your kind of basic areas. Okay, and we also have other ramifications after. We're going to talk about the branches and the buffs and the BD buffs. But initially, let's talk about just simply the base stats. Okay, so first of all, we have the levels. Okay, so what I did, I was like, okay, 95 percentile is 100 points, and 100 is S class. Then we go E is from 0 points to 20, D is 20 to 40, C is 40 to 60, B is 60 to 80, and finally A is 80 to 100. And then beyond 100 is S. And probably don't need to worry about it that much right now. But I'm gonna probably find something to do after S, right? And here's the idea. I broke it down into strength, agility, vitality, intelligence, will, form, and resilience. What each one means. Strength is basically I did my PRs and I also did for strength endurance. So pretty much like, okay, how many pull-ups I can do in a row, how many push-ups I can do in a row, how long is a plank, okay? That's strength, and then took the averages. And then agility, I took some forms of agility. So okay, In agility, I put both like 5-10-5 shuttles as well as more explosive directly things like 40 meters sprints. I took vertical jump and all this kind of sort of things. Okay. For vitality, I went for hormonal health as well as VO2. The idea is like, okay, how good are you internally? I also considered sleep in that area. So, okay, how good is my sleep? So, some of those areas are more kind of easily quantifiable. Some others are harder to quantify. So, for example, sleep. Okay, okay, unless you wear that fucking ring and have like sleep uh, stats specifically, it's kind of hard. But so we can go to the kind of general things. Okay, how many hours are you sleeping? Yeah. Are you waking up during the night? Are you taking too much to sleep? So, for example, if you're in bed for 8 hours, but you take like an hour every day to kind of fall asleep, and then you wake up like 3 times in the night. Well, your timing is good, but your sleep is not high quality. So, what would be like an S class for this? S class would be something like uh, you sleep 9 hours a day and you don't wake up during the night. That doesn't mean that's necessarily the best sleep in the world, but it is kind of elite. It is 95 percentile and this kind of stuff. So vitality, you can go for like testosterone, estrogen levels, and other kind of hormonal paths. Okay, and VO2, which is important. Intelligence took a couple, of course. First one comes to mind is IQ, but there are others. For example, I took the like the forward and backward right stuff. Shit, the digit span, I think is the name. Wisconsin test and other stuff, kind of psychometric, will quantify for kind of how many days you did your kind of the non-negotiables. So how many days you do the non-negotiables, what's your percentage of kind of executed plans. Okay, intelligence, and then we go over form. Form is kind of what most guys are worrying too much about. Form is basically aesthetics. So that goes from like physique to kind of more facial situations. So I did like facial structure. It's okay. Rayma's height. We have like all this. I didn't go like very like super nerd in that. So you're not gonna see me go like okay numerics and all those mathematics to kind of measure how good the face is and PSLK and whatever. No, and then I have within face. So basically like okay how good is your mouth and teeth and naturally your tongue. So if your tongue is fucking bad as fuck, that's gonna put you in a worse situation. I have the eye area, the skin, the nose, the hairline. Uh, in the form of we have like physique. We have AP index. I consider AP index because it's kind of more functional than anything. The shoulder to waist ratio and FFMI and BFF, body fat. Okay, so if you have a high FFMI and low body fat, that's kind of S class. And that's pretty much it for the base stats. So I kind of sum it all up and then did the averages. And then those numbers, they came from summing up and doing the averages of actual other stats. So for example, okay, for strength, squat and bench and all this stuff, and then took the numbers into the averages and by points, right? Not by absolute. So what I mean with that is pretty much like, okay, is my squat in the top 95 percentile? What percentile is in it? Then you do the calculations, and then you get the numbers for the strength for the squat, and then you do the same. Kind of takes a couple of time, takes a long time, kind of, but as honestly, I believe it's worth it. So that's thing number one. Okay. Then we have kind of the beyond base stats, and those are the things that actually push you up. So what I kind of try to do here, okay, is understanding that your base stats doesn't define your life totally. Base stats are just base stats. So perhaps you're not that strong, you're not that agile, but you are very developed in some specific area. So for example, you are, let's say you have a master's degree in something. Well, that's that's great, right? That's amazing. Your base stats may be low, but you were buffed because of developing the branches. So you can take like branches, specific branches, and what I mean with branches, okay, is basically areas of something. Uh, so for example, if you're into sport, okay, let's say you are into martial arts, you're gonna develop the branch, then you have like the sub branches within it. So if you take like okay the martial art branch in general, and then let's say within that there's like okay BJJ and judo, then you have the sub branches, and then you follow this kind of similar path to what you did with the branches. But the difference is that is not an average. You take numeric. Oh shit, the cat. You take like numeric number. Numeric numbers. You take let's say if you master where you master two martial arts or three martial arts, then you are now S class in the branch itself. You know what I mean? So that means that if you know one martial art, your stats will always be in the general path. It's gonna be always half the amount. So even if you are, let's say, top 95 percentile, so let's say that's like a state champion or close to that, depending on your state, right? So let's say you're state champion in boxing, and that's S class. Well, you're gonna have 50 points in the branch itself, and then you can go that for languages. You can do that for areas of knowledge. So, for example, if you are very enthusiastic with, let's say, psychology, you're a psychology student, for example. Well, you can create the branch psychology. Then within that, you have like different areas. You have, for example, how you act. You know? So the actual, you can divide it doing your own branch and then your sub branches, and then you do the calculations, okay? And that's pretty much it. I can go into deeper details how I did it and how you can measure and quantify those things, but generally that's how it works. Because the big idea is to understand that there is a cause and correlation with the things that you do. There's no such thing as wasted time if you are putting into work at something. There's no such thing. And since our goal here is to general improvement, I think it makes sense to go beyond like okay measuring the face and all this stuff. Measure everything. How strong are you? How agile are you? What's your body composition? How intelligent are you? Are you developing other areas? Are you not? And that is the secret, I believe, to seeing the correlations. For someone like me that struggles with kind of discipline and seeing meaning with what you do, perhaps you had a childhood where you didn't see a lot of the correlations between your work and you think that nothing ever worked with you, that helps because you see that it's very easy to see the relation between the things that you're doing. Well, naturally, if I stay in a deficit, I'm gonna get, let's say, 10 points. If it's, let's say, 100 calories, and then 1,000 calories is 100 points, and then you keep going. And then, well, my stats are growing and growing and growing until, wow, now I'm lean. Now I lost 1% body fat. Now it's 5%. Now it's 10%. Whatever you want to. Because that's the correlation. That's how it works. If, for example, if we're doing like masseter exercises, so divided by masseters, so that it has more a kind of better symmetry, it has a better angle, all of that stuff, okay, for the face. You know that you're going to gain points every workout that you do, even if it's not the most optimal, if it's not everything. Doing something is always better than doing nothing. So you deserve the points. Even if it's slower, you deserve the points. And that's how it's important. See the things that make sense to you. I did a lot of kind of physical things. I did a couple of those that are not so measurable, like will, because I believe that I struggle with that. So quantify your own way. I can go into deeper details into kind of way that I write things, and generally that's it. I'm gonna probably do another video going deeper and deeper to it. But yeah, okay guys, bye bye. May God bless you.